Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're going to be taking a look at one of the hottest areas within the World of Warcraft, Classic Hardcore, where death truly does mean delete. We'll see how to set up your game, cover the rules and the add-on, plus I'll throw in a few helpful tips at the end. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. So what is Classic Hardcore? In a nutshell, the aim is to level a brand new character on a classic Warcraft server up to level 60 without dying. If you do die, you have to delete your character or leave it as a permaghost. So if you play modern retail Warcraft, you can access the classic game from almost 2 decades ago right now. If you've not already got it, just download it through your Battle.net account. Once you have the game installed, you'll need to download the Classic Hardcore add-on. This will track your progress and make sure you don't cheat during your attempts. By far the easiest way to get this is to load up your CurseForge add-on manager, select Classic Warcraft and search for Hardcore. You'll soon find it. Links to all the add-ons and the official site are in the description down below. So, you're all set. Now you are highly encouraged to play Hardcore on a specific server. It's advisable to do this as you'll be alongside fellow hardcore players who will hopefully be in the same mindset as yourself. For example, you can take down bosses without everyone trying to tag it at the same time. Sometimes players may even form an orderly queue. So, if you're in North America, choose Bloodsail Buccaneers, and if you're in the EU, like me, choose Hydraxian Warlords. Don't worry that the realms are marked as full. I haven't had any trouble logging in, and it's super cool to see all these players. Next, go to your character creation screen and choose your preferred faction, race and class. Just classic options, of course. There's no demon hunters or evokers here. You may well have loads of attempts before you manage to get to level 60 if you ever do. So I personally wouldn't spend too long on creating your toon. The random option is usually pretty decent. I'm actually numbering my attempts within the names, and I'll be leaving dead characters as permaghosts rather than deleting them outright. Okay then, so time to review the very specific rules for Hardcore. So death very much does equal delete. You only have one life. If you die, you must delete your character or leave it as a permaghost. Gear and items. You can use all gear that you self-craft or obtain via quests, drops or NPC traders, including rarities. Buffs and player interaction. World and player buffs and assistance are permitted as long as you do not ask for them or continue taking help. Forbidden abilities and actions. Warlocks can't resurrect via Soulstone, Shamans can't resurrect via Ankh, Paladins can't bubble hearth, so no Light of Elune and Hearthstone. No using the auto unstuck feature to teleport to major cities. Professions, there's no restrictions at all, so all professions are allowed. Auction house. No auction house usage at all. No player-to-player mail. Collecting NPC mail is permitted though, as is your personal bank. That can also be used. Grouping. No grouping out in the open world unless you are en route to your hardcore dungeon. Stormmounts. The Burning Crusade Blizzard Stormount Reawakened Phase Hunter is not allowed to be used for hardcore rules. Talents. All talents are allowed. Trading. So no trading of any kind with other players, even for controllables like Mage Food and Water or Warlock Healthstones. PvP and Battlegrounds. You can engage in open world PvP and the Stranglethorn Vale arena events if you so desire. However, joining Battlegrounds and using ranking and PvP faction gear is forbidden. Dungeons. Full hardcore dungeon groups are authorised, but only one run of each dungeon per character with a unique dungeon ID. Dungeon quests are authorised. We'll talk more about dungeons in a minute. Now you can attempt the run as a pair or even as a trio. These do have a few specific rules to follow. Add-on. So all members of a duo or a trio are required to have the add-on installed. They must meet at level 1 and then select your team in the add-on before you begin your adventure. Presence. You must be logged on together at the same time, even if not questing. Class combination. You must choose a combo that spawns in the same starting location or find a way to meet in the middle before any of you ding level 2. Cling together, swing together. So you are soulbound and you share one life. If one of you dies, the others must fall on their sword and the run is over. Stick together. You must stay in the same zone together, e.g. Darkshore, unless you are a druid going to Moonglade to complete essential class quests. Trading. You can trade any solo self-found items or crafted items only to each other, including conjurables and gold. So, onto the dungeons. So here's a list of all the dungeons that you can run with the particular level range that you can do them at. Now, most players tend to tackle these at the higher end of that particular range. So don't forget, you can only run each dungeon the one time. Literally one off stab at it. You cannot reset the dungeon. Level range. So your character level must be within that dungeon's specific level range for you to actually be able to run it. If you're inside and you ding and you get higher, that's absolutely fine. Grouping. You may group up and travel to the dungeon together, but avoid killing mobs on the way. Summoning. Warlocks are permitted to summon group members from anywhere, provided it is solely for the purpose of moving them closer to the dungeon. Quests. Doing quests marked in your log as dungeon quests as a group outside the dungeon portal is authorised. Respawns. You are allowed to wait for respawns so that players may finish a quest. Portals. Mages are permitted to portal out group members at the end of the dungeon. Now, personally, I prefer to play Classic with as few other add-ons as possible. I still use Bagnon and Titan Panel and occasionally Zygor, but there's no real guidance of what you can or cannot use. There is quite a specific batch of add-ons specifically for Classic Hardcore, which I'll not go into today, but once again, just explore CurseForge and you'll see quite a few that you may or may not find useful. You really do have to enter into the spirit of the challenge and not look for ways to trick the system. The Hardcore app itself is very easy to set up. One of my favourite features is that you can see when another player on the realm has died and at what level. Often they have added their last words, which can be hilarious. If you do manage to get to level 60 and want to be added to the Hall of Fame, get your run verified by following the link on the Classic Hardcore website. It's also within the add-on as well. Now, as if trying to get to level 60 without dying wasn't hard enough, there are some even harder achievements that you might want to try. I won't list them all, but a few have me thinking. So one achievement is called The Nudist. Complete the Hardcore challenge naked. So that's with no armour, no amulets, no rings and no trinkets. Weapons, shields and bags are allowed. Upon logging in, unequip every armour piece. Grounded. Complete the Hardcore challenge without at any point using a mount, flight path or portal. Zeppelins and ships can be used. Speedrunner. Complete the Hardcore challenge in less than 100 hours. That's 4 days and 4 hours of played time. Make sure to show your /played time when you hit 60. The run must be completed within 8 weeks of real time. You are not allowed to log off in rested areas. Partner up. Complete the Hardcore challenge in a group of 2. Read the rules if you want to know more about hardcore duos. For all achievements within the general category, your duo is considered one character, i.e. the achievements rules apply to both of you as if you were one character. Now I have a buddy and I'm going to be trying a duo with quite soon. Ephemeral. Complete the Hardcore challenge without at any point repairing the durability of an item. The repair function of NPCs is not allowed to be used. Homebound. Complete the Hardcore challenge without at any point leaving the continent on which your character has started. If you start in Kalimdor, you may at no point enter the Eastern Kingdoms. If you started in the Eastern Kingdoms, you may at no point enter Kalimdor. And that's pretty much it. So it's an incredible challenge, but the sheer excitement that you get when you're close to death and just manage to get away and survive in the nick of time is really something. It's also super cool playing on a server that's so busy. It really is like the old days. Now, I mentioned at the start that I had a few tips that you might be glad of. Here's what I've gleaned from the hardcore community. So you might find it handy to join a guild. Just request in trade chat at the start and you'll get an invite in no time. Be super careful when pulling or even running by a mob. My current strategy is to quest in an area slightly below where my character level should be, making the mobs easier and my chances of survival if I pull one too many that much greater. As a general rule, don't attack mobs more than 3 levels above your current level. I try to avoid caves and mines and things like that unless it's really busy at the time. Mobs can respawn quicker than you think and suddenly you're trapped. Always have an escape route ready and tread carefully. Don't train up every single skill and ability as it becomes available. Be selective and only buy the most useful ones. You'll be glad of the gold later on in the game. Don't forget your mount will cost 100 gold if you can make it to level 40. Try having mini goals, so like me with your first one, aim to get to level 10, Your second one, maybe try for level 20 and just see how you get on. Now don't forget professions. Cooking and first aid are very useful, and skinning and leatherworking, for example, can bring in the vendor gold and get you some gear, depending on class of course. I'd be very tempted to learn alchemy just for the health potions. Remember, you cannot use the auction house at all. Lastly, don't get too attached to your toon. You're bound to go through loads if you want to eventually hit a level 60. Now there is talk and a few rumours that since Hardcore WoW has got so popular, Blizzard are actually thinking of bringing an official version of the app to the classic game. Now this may be just wishful thinking and quite possibly months away, but until then you can enjoy this version of the game right now. If you do make it to level 60 and you'd like to see more classic Hardcore content, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video and please hit that subscribe button. Until next time, peace.